Okay, welcome to Carol Payne Stamps. I'm Carol Payne, and I want to show you today how to make this diorama card. This one is sized to fit inside one of our medium envelopes. A few weeks ago, I made another diorama card with the Peaceful Nativity set, and I really like it and everybody really liked it, except the problem with it was it is too long to fit in one of our medium envelopes. Looky here. Just won't fit. It's too long. So I looked around. I couldn't find anybody that had made a smaller one, so I fiddled with it and made one. So dimensions a little bit different, but not too much. So what you're going to do to make this card, I've used Snowfront, which is current, and Itty Bitty Christmas, also current. So I would probably never do a video with anything that wasn't current, but this is the card I'm going to show you how to make today. What you're going to do, you're going to start with 2 pieces, and the dimensions are on my blog. So, and if I can figure out how to do it, I will add them below this video on YouTube. But you're going to start with 2 pieces of Misty Moonlight that are 6.5 by 4. And then you've scored it 1 inch from each side. Now, my directions say 1 inch and 5.5, but that's if you're not flipping it around in your paper trimmer. But it's 1 inch from each side, or 1 inch and 5.5. Both pieces are like that. One of those pieces you're going to punch with the Label Me Lovely punch. You're going to put it in as far as it'll go, all the way to the bottom of the punch, so it doesn't go any further. And you're going to line up this outside edge with the score line, just like that. And then you're going to move it over so that the right side of the punch is right against the score line on the right side. Make sure that it's down as far as it'll go again, and punch. Now, save this piece. You're going to use it after a while. This one, not so much. Then you're going to take your paper snips and just barely trim off that little dip right there. Do it on the top and the bottom. And then you're going to take this. I like to go ahead and crease my fold lines, because after you put it through an embossing folder, it's just kind of smooths them out. So I want to make sure that my creases are there. Then it's going to go into the Winter Snow embossing folder that's in the holiday catalog, and it's going to go through your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Now, I'm not going to walk away and do that. Instead, I've got one that's already been embossed. So now we've got all those pretty little snowflakes all over it. It's so pretty. And next, we're going to take the sponge brayer and white craft ink. And what's nice about this is when you buy the white craft ink, you get an uninked pad and the ink refill, so you've always got more to refill. It's the only stamp pad that we have like that comes with its own re-inker already. And so you're going to ink it up, keep rolling all in the same direction, and then you're going to roll it on here, and it catches that white craft ink. Really brings those snowflakes to life. Now, one little edge here is not embossed. That's okay. I wouldn't worry about it. It's going to be on the side of your card. Nobody's ever going to know the difference. Now, if you're picky about your lines, then you can go back and go this direction, and that'll kind of get those lines out of it, just like that. Now, you're going to fold it again on those crease lines, and then you're going to leave this one You could brayer it if you wanted to, but I'm going to leave mine unbrayered, and going to go ahead and fold those edges. And then we're going to make the outer box. We're going to use some liquid glue. Now liquid glue, I used to hate liquid glue, but it's because I use too much. So if you just put a really thin line on the inside of both of these flaps from the front piece that you've embossed and brayered, you're going to be happy with it. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to line up with the back edge with the fold. Line it up. Hold it in place for just a few seconds. And then do that with the other side. I like the glue, the liquid glue for three-dimensional things. It seems to hold about as well as better than anything else. And you've got a little give with it too. So there's your front. The narrower part is going to be the top. And then you're going to do the same thing with a white piece. You only need one. And it is, instead of 6.5, it's 6 by 4. And instead of scoring it at 1 inch, you're going to score it at 3/4 of an inch on each end. So you're going to fold those. Once again, it's going to go inside the Winter Frost embossing folder. And when you're done, ta-da, it's already embossed. It's embossed for you. Now, for this one, we're going to take that liquid glue again. And you're going to put on this time, before you put it on the inside, this time it goes on the outside because it's going to go in the middle of the diorama. Just put some on each one. Just a really thin line because it's very sticky glue, but it's also very runny before it sets up. So you don't want it to. Now you want to make sure that you match up your narrow edge and your narrow edge. And then you're going to slide it in here. Bow it just a little bit. And then you're going to match it up with the back fold. See how that is? That way you've got your window opening more to the front. Slide that around. That's the thing I like about liquid glue. You can smoosh it around a little bit, but until you get it exactly where you want it. So now you've got your window. You could make that just a little bit narrower, the whole piece, and then it would stick. It would show up a little bit further back. But for all practical purposes now, this is what we have. I may have to work on it again and come up with slightly different dimensions. But there you go. There's your diorama. Now, the next thing we're going to do, we'll set our brayer and the white craft ink aside because we're done with that. And now we're going to, if you saved the piece that you punched, I don't think I actually showed you one of those. If you save the pieces that you punch from your white, and you know you're going to punch both of these, but you're only going to use one, but you've got one already punched and ready to go for your words, for your greeting. So we're going to use Itty Bitty Christmas and some Misty Moonlight. And then we're going to use, there's a snowman, cute little snowman in Snowfront. And I'm going to stamp off first and then stamp him and then huff a little bit to re-moisten that ink and stamp him again. Now, he's going to go again into the Winter Snow embossing folder. And when he comes out, he looks like this. So he's all ready to put on the front of the card. And then those pieces that we punched out of the Misty Moonlight, that's going to become our back. Now, it's exactly the same size right now, but what we do is we cut it in half. This is a hamburger cut. If we cut it the other way, it would be like a hot dog. But this is a hamburger bun cut. And we're going to use some liquid glue again. We could use Stampin Seal, but whenever you run that tape runner on there, it kind of smashes your embossing. So if you don't want to smash your embossing, use the liquid glue. And then we're going to pull that out from it just a little bit. Make sure that the ends kind of disappear behind it. And then take the other piece and do the same thing for the other side. If it's still a little bit wonky, you can still push it around for a little while with the that liquid glue. So there you go, you've got that. Then we're going to take our diorama, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get, if I can figure out what I've done with my Stampin' Dimensionals. They've disappeared on me. Here they are. I have a little bit of a mess here all the time, but creatives often are messy. So what you want to do is put your dimensionals here on the front of this, so that when you add it to the front, you don't have to worry about your dimensionals being in the wrong spot. So you stick that down, and then I think I'll put another one right here. So there we go. So now you've got that. And then the next thing that you want to do is your scene on the inside. So this piece is 4 inches by 3 1/4. And so I'm going to use, I've cut my Stampin' Pierce mat in half and then cut down a little piece of my grid sheet for it. And we're going to use the mountain from Snowfront. I'm going to stamp it once, huff on it again, stamp it again so you get 2 tones of the same color. Then we're going to add some deer with soft suede. We're going to add some Just Jade, little evergreens, and we're going to add a little bitty tiny cardinal with real red, which I gotta, well, let's do one that I show you, one that I've already done that I didn't get a bobble on. Here we go. Here's the I'm going to add that one little stamped off bit. Ta-da! Added that. I'm happy with that. So then this is going to go, I'm going to use the Stampin' Seal on it. Stampin' Seal, you may hate it when you first try it, but if you hold it up a little bit higher than you do the regular snail and kind of give it a little off the side and not string it, but you'll like it. Just have to play with it a little bit. There's a slight learning curve, but it's not hard at all. So then you're going to slide that in there, and you've got your scene. So you've got your diorama, you've got your scene. This will fold flat. You're going to, of course, stamp your envelope. I've stamped the snowman and the deer on the front and parts of the scene on the back, and then it will fold flat and slide right into your envelope. Now, you could also, with this one, I embossed that flap with the winter snow embossing folder. So you could do that too. I am not offended if you do it differently than what I did, because everybody's got their own creativity, and I love it whenever my stampers, they'll say, oh, do you mind if I do something different with my card when they're at a workshop or a stamp camp? And I'm like, of course, do what you want. It's your card. It's your creativity. I am not in the least bit offended if you do it differently. Actually, I am honored if you will take it and do your own thing. So there's that. But I wanted to show you for the back, I also did another 3 3/4 by 4-inch piece of paper, piece of Whisper White, and I stamped it again, but I used all Stamped Off. I used Stamped Off Mountain with Misty Moonlight, the Stamped Off Just Jade Trees, the Stamped Off Soft Suede Deer, and then I used, on the front, I had used Thinking of You at Christmas from Itty Bitty Christmas, and this Happy Christmas is also from Itty Bitty Christmas. So I put that on the back. That way you've got a place to sign it, give your own little sentiment and greeting. Okay, that is all. Oh, forgot one thing. I did forget one thing. On the front here, just to finish it off and give it a little bit of bling, I've used some of these blue adhesive-backed gems. And there's 2 different colors of blue. There's a darker blue and then there's a lighter blue. I'm going to grab one of these lighter blue ones and add that right here with the end of my paper snips. And it's ready to go. It's ready to go into an envelope. And you might want to put an extra piece of cardstock over that bumpy gem so that it doesn't get caught in the mail machines. But other than that, you're ready to go. So I hope you try this. The dimensions are on my blog. I'm going to try to put them on my YouTube channel also. But basically, here we go. I says Snow Wonder. I don't know why it says Snow Wonder. It should be Snow Front. But it's 6.5 by 4, scored at 1 and 5.5. You need 2 of those, whatever color you choose for the outside of your diorama. You need a white or whatever your middle color is, 6 by 4, scored at 3/4 of an inch and 5 1/4, or 3/4 of an inch from both ends. And then for your inside seam and the back is 4 1/4 by 3 3/4. You need 2 of those. And you don't need anything else because both of these come out of the punches. You need the Label Me Lovely punch and the Winter Snow embossing folder and the sponge Brayers. These come, there's 4 in a package. There's 2 handles and 4 sponges. So you get, it's pretty good deal for that. So you have more than one, and you can rinse them out. So please, if you liked this card, if you liked my video, if it's helpful to you, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I will be putting more videos on soon. I'm finally starting to get the hang of this. And if you want to place an order with me, go to Carol Payne, www.carolpayne.stampinup.net to place your order. Please, if you would, use the host code for October. That is 4GZUFE3N. If you forget, it's okay. I can still add it later and you'll receive all of the goodies that I give. I give a thank you card every month for every order that's placed in my online store. I give some type of an embellishment every month if your order is $50 or more. So like, subscribe, come back, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you very much.